It's okay. I can't
We've already
see
started.
that
Welcome everybody to the Outlaw Picks podcast.
No,
We've started.
No, start from now.
What was that? You can't karate chop a new
This is
start
why
to
the
the show.
podcast is like 3 hours long.
What? Because you keep
1,
restarting
2,
it.
3, bam.
No, we've already started.
Hello,
it's too
everybody.
late. We've already started. We've been rolling for 10 minutes already.
Okay,
Why
we'll
you've been
go,
faffing and stuff. We'll go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Outlaw Picks podcast. Today we are discussing UFC 281. There are 3 war rooms that will be up on the channel. Should be up by now, right, Jamie? By the time this goes up. And 2 archives one for Pereira Adesanya 1, one for Pereira Adesanya 2, and then the top 3 fights on the main card as war rooms. So go and check them out. And of course, here we are with the Picks podcast. How are you?
I am very good.
All motivated up, I see. I like
am.
it. How was Aries?
It was awesome.
Excellent.
It's always awesome.
It was.
I mean,
It
you
was
get
a
to
great
go
show.
to Paris, so
You get to eat croissants and...
automatically awesome.
Yeah.
Just say that. But the matchups that they do there
Matchups.
they're really great because sometimes they'll put like elite level kickboxers up against another elite level kickboxer, so they're not just gonna get taken down and annoyed.
There was some good fights. Melissa Mullins.
Yeah.
Melissa Dixon. Melissa No Mess Mullins Dixon.
That was crazy.
They should have got a bonus for that fight.
No, I believe so as well. I was quite disappointed. I texted you
Yeah.
about it. I was disappointed that they didn't.
They should have got she won, but she broke her nose in the first round, didn't she?
Yeah, well, It only lasted 1 round.
Oh, of course it did.
Yeah,
of
it
course
got stopped.
So much happened in the
2
first
seconds
round.
before it was crazy.
Especially because we've just recently watched Zhang Weili against Rose Namajunas, where the same amount, or no, a lot more, in fact, happened in the first round of Melissa's most recent fight on Aries than happened in that whole 25 minutes.
I think like in the first 30 seconds there was already more strikes.
Yeah. We'll get into that a bit later on, though, of course. So today we've got 2 new sponsors for the show today. We're sponsored by Established Titles. You may have seen me mention these guys already on the War Rooms. Established Titles. This is very cool. This is just my kind of thing. This is the kind of Christmas gift I get from people because they're like, he would like that. He'd like to be a lord or a lady, although we call you Lady V anyway, so you're already a lady. But you could officially be a lady with Established Titles. So basically what Established Titles is, you buy a square foot plot of land in Scotland, and because of the historic laws in Scotland, any landowner is referred to as a lord or a lady.
Yeah.
And the other good thing as well is with every purchase, they plant a tree with the 2 charities they work with around the world, One Tree Planted and Trees for the Future. So they're working on global reforestation and giving out lords and ladyships along the way. So if you go to establishedtitles.com/outlaw, you'll get an additional 10% off, and that's including off the Black Friday sale, which is currently on. And everybody that gets a plot, we need to get you one sorted out because this one's obviously for me. I am Lord Dan Hardy, as you can see. Officially now. Officially established. Everybody that buys one fairly soon on this offer will have a plot right near ours. So
That's cool.
that'll be cool. We've got a little kind of outlaw kingdom going on. So that's very cool. So Established Titles. Make sure you check that out. Code Outlaw. And our other sponsor, is the glove over there somewhere? I'll let you hold it up. Look at that.
Watch it shine in the light.
You've just brought these gloves back for me from Paris. You went to the shop.
Yes.
And kind of dined out and bought a bunch of stuff. And the new wraps, I haven't tried these yet, but I'm going to try these tomorrow. The new wraps as well. Are these like a suede?
It's called the Ultra.
Ultra.
No, Alcantara.
Alcantara.
Yeah.
Alcantara.
Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, see, they feel like
I want to figure out what it says in the thing, but it's in French.
Yeah, no, you'll have to ask my sister. Her French is getting... Oh, no, it's Italian. She's learning Italian, isn't she? Yeah, these are beautiful. I can't wait to try these out. They feel like it's like a suede kind of...
It feels like those towels that you like...
Yes,
you take
it
to the
does.
gym and you wipe.
It does.
I think it's maybe like the same microfiber type of material.
That is a good observation.
Thanks, because
That
I
is a
have
good
a towel
observation.
like that I wipe my face on
Of course you do.
today. While I was at the gym, so...
So yeah, ElionParis.com. Check them out because they do some of the sexiest equipment in the game.
Yeah, it's so elegant.
just beautiful.
It's so nice.
I have
Plus...
plus. Oh, go on.
They have 2 new collaborations. So they did one with Smiley, which I would have brought back, but I had to get Dan his gloves, and I have limited space in my luggage, so next trip.
And I'm short of gloves, as everyone knows.
No, but I felt bad not bringing it to you.
Doing like a hand wrapping tutorial at the same time.
All right, so they have the 2 smiley gloves, which are fantastic. You either get them in yellow or in black, and then obviously because Elion, this is a logo, so they use that as part of the smiley, which is to die for. And because it's limited edition, what?
To die for? You've never said that about anything other than food.
Wow.
So they've got to be really good.
Yeah, they are really good.
And you're really picky with food.
Yeah, imagine how much, how great I am to bring your gloves instead of the ones I wanted to bring for myself.
No, I hear you.
Wow.
I hear you, thanks.
The best, thank you.
Thanks.
All right. And also, they have Dragon Ball Z gloves. So they're the only company to ever have an official collaboration with Dragon Ball Z, which is awesome. I like the villain gloves because obviously...
I've already picked the Goku ones out. They're the ones I want. Jamie was talking about the freezer. That's
the freezer's nice, but the other one that I saw that was really good is the Arrogant. What is this called?
Huh? Cell.
Oh, it's because it automatically translated on my computer, and I was like, why is this called the Arrogant? Anyway. It's super cool, especially because you have the design, but right here, you have the logo of Elion, which looks like little snake eye things.
They are
pretty
really
awesome.
nice. I can't think of a pair of hand wraps I've felt that.
Really?
Yeah, no, they're... I imagine that when I started sweating in them as well, they're going to feel even more fitted to my hand.
Yeah.
I might just style it, Michael Jackson it all the way through the podcast with just one hand wrap on. Start a craze.
That's how I paint my nails. I just do one.
You wait, UFC 281's going to be a bunch of kids in the stands with just one hand wrap on. So go and check out... I keep moving away from this mic and I tell you to stop doing that. So go and check out ElionParis.com. Check out their new Dragon Ball Z collaboration, which is awesome. Check out their just awesome stuff in general. I have that pair and I have a nice red pair in there as well that I've been using for a while. They are beautiful gloves. They do all kinds of good equipment and rather stylish items of clothing sometimes as well. I've seen. Yeah, nice shorts. So yeah, check them out. So Established Titles and Elion Paris, 2 new sponsors. Very cool. And I've also got to mention the new custom painted gifts that I've got for the site, the set. Look at that. Just for all you nerds out there. I know there's a lot of people out there that are like, yeah, we love Warhammer, even if we keep it quiet around our cooler friends. Look at that. How cool are they? My friend Steve Smith painted them custom.
You've been freaking out.
Yeah, they've been moving around the house with me. I like to be able to see them wherever I am.
Get there in the gym. Go get them. Let me show.
Get the figures. They're awesome. They're so cool. And the detail that's gone into them as well. We'll have to take some photos and post them up because he's put the full reptile logo on the side. There's loads of little details. The little skull with the bandana across the face. And then this is the one he gave me recently, which I guess he paints them so well, and I don't know how he does them so quickly. Space Wolves. So he's got the full reptile logo with the Space Wolves logo either side.
Which is your favorite, of course.
Oh, I just love it. So he's there. He's staying there, guarding my laptop for the show. Should we talk about some fights?
Yes, the 14 fight card.
My God. We were hoping we just kept refreshing it.
Yeah, please get cancel one of
Come on, let's get 12. 12's good. 12's a good number. We should agree on this generally. I think 10 is a good number for a fight card. Any more than 12 is too much. It's just too much.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. Even
you don't want to have to make a day of it. I like a nice hard hitting. When they were doing the trilogies, the Cage Warriors ones, and it was like 7 fights, 8 fights. And you were there, you got a bunch of really good fights. The energy was high, and then you left and you were like, I'm looking forward to coming back tomorrow.
Yeah, this is like eating until you feel like you want to puke. You're just eating fights until you're like, no more, please.
That's certainly what research felt like at times. But fortunately, there are a lot of good fights on this card. They are really nice. They're they stretch as you make a fist. Most of the time, if you wrap too tight, you clench your fist and it feels like it's pulling your knuckles together. But they don't.
I'm glad I got one for myself as well.
Yeah, well, they'll probably belong to me soon anyway, because I'll steal them. Like you steal all my hoodies,
Whatever.
It's even got my name on it, that one.
Yeah, but at least this one's mine.
It's even got the discount code for established titles.
There we go.
Well done. I see what you did there. Okay, so let's start at the bottom of the card.
Yes.
Carlos Ulberg against Nicolae Negumereanu.
Yes.
You know what was unfortunate? When as I was typing his name into my notes, it auto-corrected to Negumereanus. Why would it do that? Like, why would it auto-correct to that? Like, I know his name's like long and unusual, but to add an S on the end. Like,
oh
I feel
my
like,
God. No, I can't unsee that. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was a weird one, wasn't it?
Oh, if I was that guy, I would want to fight you right now. I don't know. Just for putting that out there.
But it's Apple Auto. I don't know what the deal is with Apple Autocorrect. I remember once, and this was a few years ago, I was typing in Gatwick because that's the airport I was coming into land at, and I think I was chatting to my dad or something. And I typed in Gatwick, and the autocorrect option was goat sucker. Like, where does that come from? Jamie's nodding like, yeah, that's, goat sucker.
I've seen that a few times.
What? Like, who would program that into autocorrect? That's a person that's done that.
We need to stick to this.
Sorry, 14 fights.
Yes.
14 fights. 1-4. 14
Okay.
fights.
So start.
Okay. Nicolae Negumereanus against Carlos Ulberg. This one's a bit of a, can Ulberg stay pretty and keep his clean, nice, slick striking at range, or is Negumereanu just going to bear him? Is he just going to maul him because that's kind of what he does? Like, that's the only time we've seen Ulberg struggle was against Ensejikui, and he just punched himself out and the guy didn't go away.
Yeah.
Like, that exact same thing could happen at the same time as him having to defend takedowns, because Nicolae is going to be trying to grapple with him as well, I think.
Yeah, but don't you think you'll have trouble with Carlos Ulberg's reach?
I do, for the short period of time that he's going to let him have that advantage before he runs him into a fence. I just think he's like, there's the possibility he's going to run onto a shot and knock himself out. And the thing is with Ulberg, it's his jab that did the work in his last fight. Was it against Tafon? Mm-hmm. Just stung him with that jab and dropped him. Like, he could be nailing him with that jab the whole time. But if he doesn't catch him with the first couple, Nicolae might just be past it and inside his close range. And that's when he might start to get a bit uncomfortable. Because if you think what Ensejikui did, he pressured him with good defense. He didn't really work too much. He just pressured him with a good defense. He let him work and kind of stifled his range, even though he was the taller guy. Because his striking's not as slick as Ulberg's, he closed him down and pressured him, and it worked. It kind of broke him a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that's the game plan for Negumereanu.
Absolutely. Plus, Carlos has a 100% takedown defense, but it's only one takedown that he defended.
Yeah.
Versus in Ensejikui.
Yeah.
So
that's the thing. It's like they're always skewed.
The stats are not really.
Yeah, there's a couple of stats in this that I noticed, and I'm like, hang on a minute, there's a really good takedown statistic, like takedown attempt statistic later on the card, which we'll come to. And I saw it and I thought to myself, that's a really high statistic. That must be because he's like shot 3 takedowns and nailed 2 of them or something like that. Like, I thought his attempts were so small that his percentage was good. That's not the case. You've got to look into these statistics sometimes. I kind of don't know which way to go with this one. I'm leaning into the toughness of Negumereanu to be able to weather that first sort of 5 or 7 minutes of him kickboxing at range.
Yeah.
Before he's able to get to him and start mauling him.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go the same way. I just find that Carlos is somebody that can catch him because he's technical enough to be able to catch him, and it's not gonna. Like his last fight, Nicolae's last fight, he fought with Eeyore, and that one I was a little bit on the fence on who I was picking, just because I thought that Nicolae he can get hit quite a bit, but just was able to bully his way to Eeyore. Yeah. But he's not as technical as Carlos, so it's a different type of fight, especially because Carlos has such good kicks, good hip feints, good movements that can. If you're that hittable, if you walk onto a kick, I mean, you're just going down. But I don't know. Yeah, I do feel like he'll just exhaust him and not get knocked out in the process.
He's never been stopped, has he? Yeah, he's never been stopped. And the other thing as well he did in his last fight was that level change, feinted the takedown, then came up into the tie clinch and started nailing him with knees.
Yeah.
Like, you imagine, once Ulberg's tired and he starts doing that, he's level changing and driving him into the fence and then feinting and coming up with knees. It's a case of Ulberg's got to probably knock him out in the first 5 minutes. And because no one else has ever done it, doesn't mean it can't happen, but
Yeah.
it's you know, it's going to be more difficult because he does take a big shot.
I think his cardio will be better, though, because if you think that was versus in Sechigu where he punched himself out, that was his first UFC fight, and it was on a pay-per-view card. And then once you go through that, you go, I learned that mistake. I'm not going to make that one again.
And he was coming off a knockout on Contenders, wasn't he?
Yes, a first-round knockout.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going for Negumereanu.
Yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so as well. I just think he's tough enough to get through that first rough moment. In fact, we've not done stats for this one, have we? Ulberg is 4 inches taller, but Negumereanu has a 1 inch reach advantage. High striking output for Ulberg. Yeah. I don't think the stats tell us too much because he's not had many fights in the UFC. I think he's going to get mauled and exhausted. I'm going for Negumereanu. Okay, let's move on to the next one. So, Julio Arce against Montel Jackson. And Montel Jackson was the fighter I was talking about that's got the really impressive takedown accuracy. 78% takedown accuracy. And I thought to myself, well, that's probably because he's not hit many takedowns. But then you look down at his record, you look back through some of his fights, like he took Colares down 11 times. Like he's got some high output. JP Bays, he took him down 4 times. Twice against Brett Johns, even though he lost that. 3 times against Andre Sukumtath.
Yeah.
3 times in his Dana White's Contender Series fight. He's a really good fighter. Really good fighter. He's got the height advantage, reach advantage, 3 inches in height, 5 inches in reach. Both of these guys are southpaw. Montel Jackson likes to pressure into range though, and Arce can punch. He's got some decently heavy hands on him. Yeah,
but he also struggles with people who do have heavy hands versus Yadong.
Yep.
Yeah, Song Yadong that like kicked him to the solid right hand. So I just feel like those type of opponents have a struggle, and Montel Jackson has that power that he can struggle with. I just feel like Montel kind of struggles when opponents out wrestle him, or like JP Bays. Is that how you say his name?
Bays, I think.
Bays. Well, he had a lot of like good moments in that fight, especially like in round 1. You know, he had his back, and went for a guillotine as well. So that's where I can see Julio Arce taking over because he has 5 subs, all by rear naked choke. So I could see him taking the back, and I can see him maybe choking him out in something. But Montel's also he's a very calculated fighter. So he doesn't kind of rush that much, and he's just very composed.
Yeah. I mean, I think the smart thing to do, to be honest, is for Arce to try and pressure him, land that big left hand, and then try and take his back. Because the thing is with Williams, he is a good grappler. He proved that against Bays. He was taken down the first round, wasn't he? But then he took him down the second and third. The other thing with Arce I noticed as well is that he does tend to cut above his right eye. A couple of times he's opened up here.
Yeah.
And someone like Williams, who likes to fight at close range, who's got, clinch work and knees, he might be able to open him up with one of those knees. Yeah, I kind of don't know about this one. I think it's going to be a really closely matched fight. It wouldn't surprise me though if Arce manages to hit him and hurt him enough to be able to take his back.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for Montel.
Oh, you really?
Yeah.
Decision, or do you think he's going to finish?
I think he might get a finish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's he got? 6 knockouts? Yeah, 6 knockouts.
Just because he has such big knockout power. And if he starts mixing it in with the wrestling and then finds his shot, I feel like he can find the mark.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, no, I think I'm going to stick with Julio Arce.
Yeah.
So, quick tale of the tape. So, 18-5 for Arce, 11-2 for Montel Jackson, 3-inch height advantage for Jackson, 5-inch reach advantage. Both southpaw. Striking stats lean slightly towards Arce as far as volume go, but his striking accuracy is down. striking defense is better for Julio Arce. He's also got 94% takedown defense as well, which is pretty impressive. But then again, as I said, Montel Jackson's got 78% takedown accuracy.
I think Julio Arce, when he fought Danny, went for 12 takedowns.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
I mean, he's got good hands. He's got nice basic boxing, and I do think that he might be able to get to Montel Jackson, especially because Jackson does stand at a closer range than he needs to for his height and reach. You know, he does make himself a bit available. I could see Montel Jackson pressuring Arce up against the fence and Arce moving laterally and then stepping in and catching him with that left hand and just kind of hurting him. Maybe even then running in and body locking him, taking him down, taking his back.
Yeah.
I could see a lot of fighting up against the fence in this one as well.
Yeah. This
Looking
whole
forward to
card
it.
is very, like, your picks are very...
Yeah. There's only a couple that I'm quite sure of. There's only a couple. But this is definitely one of them I'm kind of, I don't know. I'm going to go with Julio Arce. Experience, punching power. Yeah.
I'm going to go with Montel.
Okay. This next one's another one. So featherweight division, Mike Trizano against Seung-woo Choi. Like, they're both kind of in a bit of an awkward situation. Now, Trizano's in an interesting one because his first 3 losses on his record are in his last 4 fights. So he was really, really doing well. His style was able to overcome everybody that he faced, and all of a sudden he kind of hit UFC level and it slowed right down.
Yeah.
He's a lot of fun to watch. He's very well rounded, and I think he'd be smart to grapple in this one because Seung-woo Choi's got reach and height advantage. Oh, not by much though in height, but I think he's going to look a lot taller.
Yeah,
I mean,
looks
just looks
physically
massive,
a lot.
Yeah.
Just a lot bigger.
So we got Trizano's at 10-3, Seung-woo Choi at 10-5. 1 inch height advantage for Seung-woo Choi, 3 inch reach advantage. Fairly evenly matched on statistics. Slight advantage in wrestling for Mike Trizano. Higher submission average for Trizano as well. Striking stats fairly even. I mean, slightly up for Mike Trizano, 52% striking accuracy compared to 37, 49% defense compared to 45. I still think he'd be better to move forward and take him down though. Like, every time Seung-woo Choi has struggled, it's been because someone can grapple better than him. Like, what's he got? 2 where is it? Yeah, 2 rear naked choke losses on his record. And you remember what that fight against Movsar Evloev? He just couldn't keep him off his hips. I think I was commentating on that one. It was just an exhausting fight for him. It was so frustrating because Evloev just wrestled him the whole 15 minutes. Like, I think if Trizano can take him down and get in top position, he'll be able to hit him and hurt him there much better than he would be if he's trading on the feet, because I think Seung-woo Choi's got the power advantage.
Yeah, but I think he kind of will. I think he kind of will trade on the feet.
Do you think?
Yeah, even if
he's just a bit
that's
too
not,
game, isn't he?
Yeah, even if that's not the game plan. Well, if you saw him versus Almeida, they were just like going at each other, you know.
Yeah.
And he'd been rocked, and he just continued. He did rock Almeida as well, and it was quite unfortunate, that head clash, because Almeida was like going down on him.
Every time it's something. Carry on.
Maybe
they
the
won't
pressure,
notice.
the pressure. Yeah, no,
You're
now
doing
they
it
will.
again with your hand and shit
What
now.
am I
What's
oh my
going on?
God. Okay. Top guard, head went down. Clashed the heads.
Yeah.
Opened up. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Uh-huh.
Leave it at there.
Yeah.
Good left hand counter. But I also like how he follows up his knees with his combinations.
Yes.
You know, and I feel like he mixes in well using power and also using speed. But like versus Woo Choi, for example, he was beating Caceres before he got like choked out.
Yeah, just walking him down. That was a nice little duck out from Caceres though, off the fence, wasn't it? Just duck out on his back. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, Trizano's chaotic enough. He's got that rear naked choke against Dawson. I know that was a loss, wasn't it? He got caught in a rear naked choke.
Yeah, but Dawson, he just came and choked out Mark, what do you call it? The Olympian.
Oh, yeah.
This
Madsen.
weekend. Yes, Mark Madsen. He's
I
pretty
kinda-
good grappler, Dawson. I mean, that's... If you get caught by him, it's not like,
Yeah.
you're open to those things. No, he's legit good at it. So no shame.
I think if Trizano if Trizano's able to pressure like he did against Ludovic Klein, if he's able to keep Seung-woo Choi against the fence and keep chopping into his lead leg and keep front kicking him, because that was something else he used really well against Klein. He kept using that front kick to the body, outside low kicks. Just keep kind of pressuring him and making him work. He might be able to level change and even just chase up onto his back or take him down from a body lock.
Yeah.
I just think it'd be smarter to just
do it that way.
Yeah, just negate the power that Choi's got, because he just looks naturally heavy-handed.
Yeah, and this is Mike's last fight on his contract.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, so by that, it can either be a good thing or a bad thing. It can be like a good thing because you're going to go out and be smart and get the win, or you're going to go out and think, oh, I really need to get a spectacular finish in order for my contract to be resigned, and then you walk into a power shot.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, it could make him more tense, or it could make him fight super safe.
Yeah.
Which might not be a bad thing, because even if he fights a little bit safer, there's still going to be a recklessness to his game. So I think if he thinks to himself, okay, I'm going to take him down against the fence, I'm going to control him, beat him up, and take his back. The moments where he's opening up to strike are still going to be he's still going to be chaotic, and he's still going to be scrambling to try and take his back and stuff. I don't think it'd be a bad thing. He just doesn't want to stand and trade with him, because I don't think he wins that power exchange. That's the but like you said, he might just feel like he. But then again, if it's the last fight on his contract and he's 1-3 in his last 4, they're not going to keep him on the roster because he's a fun fighter to watch, are they? They're going to release him to try go and get a couple of other wins so he can get re-signed.
Yeah, well, they might keep him because he was the Ultimate Fighter winner, so that always kind of helps to have.
True. Yeah, I'm going to go with Trizano in this one. I think he's going to use his wrestling. Go on.
Woo Choi.
Seung-woo Choi.
Yeah, Choi.
Yeah. How?
Maybe second round finish.
Second round finish, you reckon? What, knockout?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm reckoning this is going to be crazy night. Knockouts everywhere.
Yeah, maybe. No, I'm sticking with Trizano. I think he's going to be able to get his head off the center line and close distance.
He's been training with Julio Arce as well.
Has he really?
Yeah, because they're a teammate, and he's also on the card. So it's really nice to have, somebody who's going through that with you.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's the same thing with Carlos Ulberg, isn't it? Because he's...
Yeah. Anytime the city kickboxing guys fight, it's always like 5 people from the same team.
Yeah.
It's probably on Izzy's contract.
Sign
on my mates.
Who was it had to share in the corner? Hang on, I made a note of it. There was someone...
Wellington.
Yes.
Don't jump.
Sorry. 14 fights. We're doing all right. We're getting through them.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going with Seung-woo Choi and I'm going with Mike Trizano.
Yes.
Okay. Next up, Karolina Kowalkiewicz against Silvana Gómez Juárez.
There you go.
Juárez. Okay. I'm a little bit concerned for Karolina in this one.
Yeah.
Because is it Gómez Juárez? Is that the full name, or is it just Juárez?
I don't know. Gómez is probably her. Yeah, let's just go with Silvana.
We'll go with Silvana.
Silvana and Karolina, because the other one's kind of confusing too.
Kowalkiewicz, you think is easy. I've had plenty of practice though, because I called some of her earlier fights.
Yeah.
Silvana's got really good aggressive takedown defense. Like she's really like get off. I don't want to grapple. But then if she hurts somebody, she will run straight into their guard.
Yes.
So that, like, what I can see this going one of two ways. I can see Silvana hitting Karolina and knocking her out because, she has been hurt before. Who was it? Andrade knocked her out. Like, I can imagine, because she does get hit a lot. She's not particularly a power puncher. I mean, she's not stopping people. Yeah, first round knockout by Andrade. And that was like the beginning of that five fight losing streak.
And when she fought the Chinese girl, Zhao Nan.
Yan Xiaonan, yes.
Look, I try.
You do try.
Okay.
You do try. Yan Xiaonan, yes.
Yeah. I remember her that was nasty.
Yeah.
She got hit hard.
Yeah.
During the fight. I don't really think she wanted to continue. She was just kind of going to the doctors like, are you going to stop this? Or
yeah.
what?
Yeah. Was that where she was covering one of her eyes?
Yeah.
She had a fractured orbital bone and she was seeing double.
It was bad.
She's a very tough lady.
Bad.
I kind of feel like Silvana's got heavy hands. What's she got? Six
She also does
knockouts
that.
or
Brandon Moreno.
oh, the little shake, the little
Whack.
yeah. She's got 7
Like
knockouts
Robot
in
Man.
11 wins. Yeah,
I just think like Silvana, the people that I've seen her struggle with, because I knew of her before the UFC. Poliana Botelho, she's aggressive coming at you, like that's the type of person that kind of can get her. Ariana Lipski is also that type of really aggressive striker, and Lupi used that wrestling and just again like overall extreme like beat her at meanness type of thing. With Vanessa, I know like she knocked her down, she got caught, but
it was a nice right hand.
Yeah,
like she throws hard. My concern is that Karolina is going to be forced into a kickboxing match because her wrestling's not good enough. She's not strong enough to get her to the floor. I think if she can take her down, then that's where Karolina can win. Like her ground game is improving for sure. She's coming off that rear naked choke win over Felice. Yeah. Like that's where she wins the fight. I just don't know if she can get it there. And if she can't, then she's going to have to stand and try to strike with her. Yeah. And I think technically she's good enough to compete, but it's just the power difference. I feel like Silvana's faster and hits harder.
And plus Karolina is a lot, for me, like accumulative points to win a fight. She's like, Papa, I scored this many points like during the fight, and that's how she usually prevails. And I feel like Silvana can make it nasty enough to not like for her to, because Karolina said that she would have retired if she wouldn't have won that last fight. So that's already.
She's but then, does that change the position that she's in mentally because she's not looking past it? She's just looking at this one fight at a time. Because I think there's a benefit to that as well. I was thinking about that and I was like, oh yeah, but she's, maybe she's, because when I was fighting Chris Lytle, he announced fight week that he was retiring after that fight. Mm-hmm. And I went through a whole bunch of different scenarios of like how he could be feeling towards the fight because of that. Like, is he bothered? Is he going to give it all he's got because it's the last time he's in there? You know what I mean? But like she said that at the end of after her last fight when she was speaking to Ariel, right? Yeah. So like is that fireworks?
Yes, it is.
Oh, ear will be in here in a minute. Yeah, like she's known that. She's in that state of mind all the time, which means that she's not looking past this fight. It's like she wins this fight or she doesn't. If she doesn't, she's retiring. If she wins it, then it's one more. She's like on. It's like free time. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No.
Like she's past the point
that.
when she's concerned where her career's going, which I do think there's a strength to. I just don't know if she's physically able to compete with her.
Yeah, and Silvana's kind of like, although they're the same age, which is crazy.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, 84, 85. A year difference.
I thought you were saying they were 84 and 85.
They look good for 84 and 85, don't they? Quick tale of the tape. I'm not done that. 13-7 for Kowalkiewicz. 11-4 for Silvana. Both 5'3", 1 inch reach advantage for Silvana. Higher striking output for Kowalkiewicz, of course. Better striking defense, which is beneficial. Good takedown defense, 75%, but only 18% takedown accuracy. But then Silvana's only got 37% takedown defense as well. So, I don't know. She like in the times when I've seen her defend takedowns against Lupi, she didn't really have much of a choice. I told you she'd be on the way in. Oh, do you not like those fireworks?
Yeah, but Lupi, like her sisters are competing in world-class level in wrestling,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
That's like getting taken down like by Carla Esparza or by any wrestler. She's like, okay, well.
Oh, she's shaking. Bloody fireworks. We just don't need them. Like, we can have the lights without the banging now. She's properly freaking out.
Yeah, she is.
Oh, it's all right.
She's not going to be able to to do that thing during the podcast. We're going to need technical difficulties.
She'll settle down. Oh, she's having a wander. She'll find a spot. Where she feels safe. Okay. Yeah, I'm just thinking Silvana's going to hit her and hurt her.
Yeah, me too. None of her fights have gone out of the first round.
No, right?
In the UFC, all of first round as a strawweight.
It's just an unusual power to have for this weight class, isn't it? Yeah. I think Silvana's going to stop her.
Same. Next one.
Okay. Matt Frevola against Ottman Azaitar. This is probably my most confident pick on the card.
This is your most confident?
This is my most confident pick on the card. Do you want me to give you a quick reason why?
Yeah.
So Frevola's last fight, the knockout against Valdez, that was the second knockout of his career.
Yes.
Azaitar's got 10 knockouts in 13 wins.
Yes.
10 first-round finishes.
Yes.
I think Azaitar is just going to come in and knock him out.
Yeah.
I think he's going to first-round knock him out. I think this fight's set up for him to be a knockout because Frevola doesn't have as much firepower. Like the best thing for Frevola to do is to wrestle. He's got an arm triangle, a guillotine, and a triangle armbar on his record. But of his 3 losses, 2 of them are by knockout. I feel like this stage is set for Azaitar to come in and starch somebody else.
Yeah, he's really popular.
He is very popular, very powerful. Nickname Bulldozer. It's the bulldozer against the steamroller. Who wins? If I had enough money, if I had Dana White money, I would buy a steamroller and a bulldozer, and I would drive them at one another as a promotional tool for this fight. See which one wins. Are they different? Are they much different? Anyway. Yeah, I struggle to see it any other way unless Frevola's able to wear Azaitar down. But then that's something I'm connecting with his brother. Abu Azaitar has gotten tired when he's been wrestled in the past.
Yes.
Ottman Azaitar is just starching everybody.
Yeah.
9-3 with 1 draw for Matt Frevola, 13-0 for Ottman Azaitar. 1 inch height advantage for Frevola, but that's not going to be really significant. Same reach. Ottman Azaitar, 8.43 for strikes landed per minute. Highest striking accuracy, 100% takedown defense. Ugh.
I see what you mean about Frevola versus Valdez and how that's just kind of the determining factor because he just went freaking mental.
Yeah.
They were just slugging it out. And
if he does that against Azaitar, he'll be asleep before he knows it.
Absolutely. But he hasn't fought in 2 years.
That is the one thing about his record is he really is kind of creeping along very slowly. I mean, he's not progressing very quickly because he's just not active enough. Like, what do we got? So this was a cancelled bout from 2021. Of course, this was the one that was cancelled off the McGregor Poirier 2 card because he violated COVID protocol.
Oh yeah, he was going to get kicked out in something, and I think somebody, what was it? How do you pronounce that? The Sheikh?
I don't know.
The Sheikh.
Yeah.
Yeah, they like paid just a lot of money.
Oh, did they?
I think that's what the rumors were.
You think that's what the rumors were?
That's the rumors I heard.
What was it? He was
underground.
Was it not? He was trying to get someone was trying to pass food onto him or something.
Yeah,
was it like potatoes for his weight cut or something?
Something dumb.
Yeah. I don't know. It was anyway. So okay. So that was the last time he was matched.
Against the same guy.
Yeah, which was January of last year. And before that was 2020 against Karma Worthy. Before that was 2019 against Timu Pakalin. And then before that, he was in Brave. I feel like he's been around a long time, but he's actually only had 2 fights in the UFC. And they've only just amounted to 5 minutes total.
He's probably making so much bank on the outside that he doesn't care about fighting. He's just like, let me go reassure my bank, re-sign this contract and keep getting money.
I think he's going to starch for in the first round.
I like the way he punches his way out of a clinch as well. Goes to the body and then to the head. Plus versus Timu, that overhand right knockout, face first on the ground. That's my favorite knockout. What do you call it? Result?
Yeah.
I guess.
What, face down?
face plant.
The result. So if you knock somebody out, you would much rather they face plant than anything else.
Yeah,
Right,
absolutely.
okay, gotcha.
It's just vicious. One of my favorite knockouts is some guy getting back kicked and he's face planting, and I was like, oh my god.
What's unfortunate about Teemu Packalén is that he's been knocked out stiff twice. Like Mark Jacasey did it to him in London, but that one he fell backwards. So if someone's clever with a gift, they could do him falling backwards and forwards at the same time.
Oh, why would they do that?
Because it'd be funny to watch. It'd be funny to watch. Come on. We've got to get onto this MMA meme thing. It's a whole thing now. It's a whole thing. Richard Dawkins came up with the term meme. I didn't realise that. I've learnt a lot this week. Okay, so can you see it any other way other than Ottman Azaitar?
Well, I
knocking him
can
out?
see like Matt trying to wrestle because he is a tough wrestler.
He is. Does it help that Matt Frevola's Tapology picture is him wearing a leather jacket and cowboy hat with no shirt on? Does that in any way change your perspective of this fight?
And I think MMA shorts under. Oh,
I think
Lord.
I think what we need to do, we need to start making a collection of the worst Tapology pictures. Like we need to if you find someone that's got a terrible Tapology picture, send it to us. Because I mean that's brilliant, isn't it?
No, Mr. Finland is bad. He's like pimping all his legs.
Yeah.
What's his name, Mr. Finland?
Makwan Amirkhani.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, but this and the other thing as well, like this is effectively double denim. What he's doing here, he's got brown leather and black leather together. He's wearing a big it's got a big fur like wool collar on it, but then in the background there's like fish on the wall and stuff. It's a fucking weird photo. Like how do you come up with that as like dude, Tapology have called, they need a photo for your profile. Yeah, send them this one. No, hang on a minute, let me take my shirt off first.
I think the UFC should be in charge of making the profile photos for the athletes, so it looks a lot more clean.
You reckon? No, I don't think so. I like this. I think all fighters should be able to submit their own photos. In fact, even better, I think someone from their gym should be able to submit a photo for them.
Oh no!
Yeah, I've got one of Paul Daly wearing a dress. I would send that one in. I don't even think he knows I've got that photo. I've also got a photo of Jimmy Warled, like 6 years old, like doing that little ginger thug.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm gonna do a bit of I'm gonna start a collection of funny Tapology photos.
Okay, so yeah, I'm also going for Ottman.
Ottman Azaitar,
Yes.
Mainly because of Matt Frevola's Tapology picture, right?
No, just because I feel like Matt can start trading, and that's where Ottman thrives.
Yes.
So I just see him doing that. And you just got to mess up 1 second, like one time. It doesn't have to be like you're really smart the whole time and then you mess up, and that's enough.
And he already messed up with that photo. So
oh my god!
look, you can't. We've got to bring awareness to these things. I'd have that printed on a T-shirt, honestly, with his name across the top. In fact, if I was fighting him, I would have that printed out in a T-shirt. I would wear it to the weigh-ins.
Yeah.
I would, yeah, definitely. That's the kind of thing I would enjoy.
Well, you can't now. Not anymore. You can't wear what you want.
No, but I can daydream. Oh, you're not allowed to now. No.
Nope.
No fun. No fun. Stop with the fun. No more fun. No masks. No hats. Everyone looks the same. Welcome to 1984. Okay. You are taking me off on tangents.
No,
here
you're
today.
going by yourself.
I'm not.
I'm just walking, picking you up, and bringing you back.
We went for Azaitar, did we?
Yes.
Okay. Andre Petroski against Wellington Turman.
Yes.
She's still having a little bit of a freak out, isn't she? Oh dear. She'll be all right. She'll settle down. They've stopped now, aren't they? Okay. Andre Petroski against Wellington Turman. I'm kind of looking forward to this one. It's a bit of a train wreck because they're both like Petroski in particular is like physically, like powerfully powers himself into positions, but he also has got good submissions, and Turman has got good submissions as well.
Yeah.
So Petroski is 8-2. Wellington Turman is 18-5. Both 6 foot tall, 1 inch reach advantage for Petroski. 100% takedown defense for Petroski, 85% takedown defense for Wellington Turman. but way higher submission average on Petroski's side, which is interesting because Turman throws up a lot of submissions as well.
I just think Turman is more of a grappler. And he's also been training with Glover Teixeira.
Yeah.
So he's been in the same camp as Alex Pereira, so he's probably had really good striking in his camp to help him out, which is where I feel he struggles or like...
He looks least comfortable in the striking range for sure, yeah. He looks a little bit too comfortable on his back sometimes, and I kind of feel like Petroski's going to win a power exchange here a bit. Like I feel like Turman's got good enough submissions, but I feel like the reason why he struggled with a lot of his attempts against Serkinov is just because he's like Serkinov's physically very powerful.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I feel like Petroski, although to me he looks a little bit undersized for the weight class, I feel like Turman's not particularly massive as a middleweight either. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like Petroski just looks like an incredibly difficult individual to lock up with. He looks physically powerful, and I feel like even if he gets tangled up in submissions from Turman, he's going to be able to boss his way through them. Yeah, probably hurt him with strikes and maybe even reverse a sub on him.
But Turman also has that, because if you look at him versus Misha Serkinov, that snap armbar that he got, it wasn't like you can. That was just there. It was on. And Serkinov is a black belt in jiu-jitsu with good grappling. And where Andre, because I went and I saw the fight that he lost, just so I could better choose. And also the exhibition match, which was a choke.
Yeah.
So I don't think grappling is really, although he has that anaconda, that win, and also in the grappling, but in the grappling match it was with Eric Anders, which I wouldn't really put him as up there best grappler.
No.
You know, but
yeah, he's doing quite a few exhibition matches, isn't he? He did one with Phil Hawes as well.
Yes. The grappling one in Pro Fury. So I see like he's trying to evolve that part. But he is a wrestler. He's like a Division I wrestler. Trains at Renzo Gracie Philly team, so they've been doing really great. But where he struggled in that match against Aaron Jeffrey was one with the tie clinch and knees, and two when his back was on the mat. So I felt like he was dominating that first round. Second round, he got kneed a little bit, taken down, and it just all went downhill for him. And maybe Wellington, because of the way he can circle and get people's back. And I know he's been like falling off of them because he's been getting it from a standing position. I think working with Glover Teixeira can help him tighten up a more foundational structure.
Make it more linear what he's trying to achieve. Yeah. The other thing as well that leans in Wellington Turman's favor is the fact that he's been the distance a few times. You know what I mean? Like Petroski I don't think he's ever been the distance. Like he's been into the third round against Hu Yao Zong, but there's no decision wins on his record. There's no decisions on his record. Like I feel like,
No, just I was moving and the mic.
Oh right,
yeah,
is that right?
Yeah, it's all.
I feel like Turman's the advantage increases for him as the fight goes on, especially because Petroski is quite a powerful fighter, and because he's never been the distance, he's never paid for that by being gassed.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I there's definitely an opportunity for Turman to like slow the fight down a bit and tie him up and try and take away some of the power that he's got. But I still feel like Petroski's going to get to him. I can imagine him like the ground and pound shots that Turman took against was it Bruno Silva? TKO'd him in the guard, didn't he? I can imagine Petroski landing a couple of those shots, maybe not knocking him out, but hurting him enough to be able to progress to a stronger position.
Yeah.
And that sub over Maximov's, that's a decent credential. Maximov's a good grappler.
If Wellington can get past that first round is my thought, because where he struggled is in the first round, and because he sometimes trusts his guard too much. Sometimes when you're like, I know I have good jiu-jitsu, that means you'll just be willing to just sit there in the guard, because maybe in training, no one's wailing at you.
Exactly. No one's going to try and knock you out, but Petroski will.
Yeah.
Well, I'm taking Petroski.
I'm taking Turman.
Are you really? Yeah.
Yeah. Younger fighter, way more experience. He's 26 compared to 31. With Wellington, I just feel like he's old for some reason, like older.
It is old.
It is old. Yeah.
I thought that about Negumereanu. He's only 28, and he's like.
I had such a good joke for this, and I thought about it since yesterday, and now I forgot.
No, it's gone.
It's gone.
You
think Andre has beef with Wellington?
Nice. This podcast joke is brought to you by Elion. Sponsoring Veronica's humor. Yeah. Well, funny you should mention that, because I noticed that Montel Jackson, I know we're dropping back onto the card a little bit, I noticed that he's got a Darce choke on his record against Brian Kelleher. And then I noticed that he's fighting Julio Arce. So why do we say Darce and Arce and not Darce or Arse?
Because no one says arse.
We do in England a lot. I mean, it's spelled with an S instead of a C.
I struggle to even say that.
No, you didn't. You just nailed it.
No.
You were at the forest the other day shouting wanker at everybody on the pitch.
I was not shouting.
She was, honestly. My dad told me. Honestly, her language was atrocious.
MMA fans are not mean. I'm going to tell you that. The Brazilians going, ooh, vamos here with a chant as like fun. Nah, they were booing and yelling wanker and saying all sorts of just horrible things.
And then we watched The Damned United last night, and they were doing that in it as well, yeah.
Okay, so I'm going for Wellington, and you're going for Andre.
Yes, and now we're moving on to the next fight, which is Molly McCann against Erin Blanchfield.
Yes.
This is a tough fight, I think, in a lot of ways. Do you know what I mean? I think Molly's intensity has got to win this fight for her. I think her ferocity, and I think it might be a hard uphill battle for parts of it as well if she does get the win. So Blanchfield is 9-1. Molly McCann is 13-4. Both of them are 5'4". Blanchfield has a 4-inch reach advantage. Very similar strike lander per minute, slight advantage for Molly. Better striking accuracy for Blanchfield. Slightly better striking defense for Molly McCann. 46% takedown defense for Molly, 75% takedown defense for Blanchfield, as well as a 66% takedown accuracy.
Yeah.
Would you agree that Blanchfield has got the wrestling, grappling advantage as far as the stats go?
I believe that she has the grappling advantage. I don't really think that she'll have the wrestling advantage. Okay. Because when she fought JJ Aldrich, you know, she beat her in that standing guillotine. Mm-hmm. But it was after like a knee where JJ fell. Yep. And then when she was getting up, during that scramble, she got the neck. So I feel like Molly has to be very careful throughout the entire fight because Erin has that grappling that she can just catch you. Mm-hmm. And it's very opportunistic, and she's just waiting for that to happen. But having said that, when she fought JJ Aldrich, you know, she did attempt 4 takedowns and didn't get it. Yep. And I love the way JJ went, oh, I'm gonna go in, making Erin kind of like do this for an underhook, mm-hmm. or if if JJ went in on Erin, she did that and then punched her over the top. So I feel like if Molly's able to be mature enough to be calm mm-hmm. and explode when she needs to, mm-hmm. that she can stop Erin from taking her down. Yeah.
And she seems to be a lot more measured, especially in those last couple of fights. Completely. You know, when she's like set that spinning elbow up, she knew that she was leaning into it to land it. Yeah. Like she's improved tremendously in her last few fights, I think. And I think her aggression can get to Blanchfield. She just needs to be confident in her takedown defense so she's not overcommitting and running into opportunities for Blanchfield to put her on the floor. Because, you know, even if she hits the floor and she's, you know, Blanchfield isn't able to sub her, she might be able to just burn time on the clock, you know, controlling and ground and pounding.
Yeah, like with Melissa Maverick when she fought her.
Yeah.
I feel like if I wouldn't have watched Erin versus JJ Aldrich, I would have been just pretty certain that she would beat Molly.
Right.
But after watching JJ Aldrich, I was just like, maybe because Erin's only 23 as well. Mm-hmm. You know, she's developing fast, and then, I mean, she is a problem now, and she'll beat a lot of people in the division. But what I feel Molly can take in this fight is that she's a lot more calm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Only issue I see is if she goes like, oh, I want to get the third spinning elbow in a row.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And gives up her back, gets taken down and choked out. I can also clearly see that, to be honest. I just hope that she doesn't do that.
Yeah.
Just if the elbow's there, go for it, girl. But if it's not, it don't matter if it's the third in a row.
Yeah. I'm going with Molly. I just think her ferocity is going to be enough to be able to get to Blanchfield and make her feel uncomfortable. Hit her with shots from angles that she's not expecting. Like and Molly's ferocity and takedown offense as well makes up for a lot of like technique advantages that Blanchfield might be able to use against her. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think Blanchfield could be rattled by the aggression and confidence of Molly, especially if Molly's standing in front of her going, "Come on, fucking come on," and then she's winging over the top and she's calling her on because Molly's going to be able to take Blanchfield's shots better than most other people can take shots.
Yeah.
And she's not going to back down in any position. She's not going to hold still and be settled. You know what I mean? It's like she's going to be a handful for Blanchfield, and yeah, I don't know. I just feel like she's in a good spot right now. You know, she's had 3 good performances back to back, 2 spinning attack knockouts. I think she can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Molly's going to do it.
Just as long as she doesn't go for it because it's going to be the third. And I know fighters...
Get that Instagram clip.
And I swear to God, fighters do this and they think this and they say this. Like, that's just the only point where I'm just like, ugh.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think she's past that point now.
Okay.
I do think she has. I think she's going to make smart decisions because she knows how good Blanchfield is.
Yeah,
she will have done her research. Her team will have done her research. And I think it was coincidental that she landed those 2 spinning attacks back to back. I think she realised that the opportunity was there. I don't think she went out there looking for it necessarily. And I don't think she'll be... I mean, you know, lightning doesn't strike twice, and it's already struck twice for her. It's certainly not going to strike a third time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think she'll have a strong performance and she'll be able to back Blanchfield up, win a decision. Okay,
Same.
Next one. Dominick Reyes against Ryan Spann. This is further down on the card than I was expecting it to be. This could be higher up, in my opinion. So Dom Reyes, 12 wins and 3 losses. Ryan Spann, 20 wins and 7 losses. 1-inch height advantage for Ryan Spann, 2-inch reach advantage. Both of these guys are big dudes. 6'4", 6'5", 77 and 79-inch reach. Southpaw v Orthodox. Ryan Spann has 9 guillotines on his record. That's impressive. 9 guillotines. Higher striking output from Dom Reyes, better striking accuracy. Striking defense is pretty much the same. 80% takedown defense for Dom Reyes. I feel like Ryan Spann could do with having this fight on the floor. Like I feel like they can stand and trade, and at this level with these guys, at this, you know, with the height and reach and power that they can both generate, I don't think either of them are clean enough strikers to be confident in that range that they're not going to get caught. But I feel like if Spann's able to get Reyes to the floor, I feel like he massively increases his chances. Not necessarily because he's going to be able to keep him down and hold him down, but because if Reyes is down, he's got to get back up, and 9 guillotines could be 10.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, no, I see what you mean.
Like you got to think if he could have, you know, if he'd have been able to finish that takedown against Johnny Walker, like he was doing really well in that fight. Cracked Johnny Walker and hurt him, wasn't able to take him down, got caught with a bunch of elbows. Do you know what I mean? Like I could see him hitting and hurting Dom Reyes.
Yeah, but does he go for that same thing, get hit with a bunch of elbows?
Maybe. I mean that'd be the way to do it if you're Dom Reyes. You'd be standing up against the fence, kicking into the body and waiting for him to level change. But yeah, and
I felt it weird that he just didn't let go. And I saw this over at Aries as well. They were just getting elbowed like that. It was a fight that was actually stopped.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just getting elbowed. Bruh, let go. You're the one holding.
but
After
the
like the 7th elbow you ate, don't you think it's time to get out of the way?
I honestly think that the majority of them aren't painful. I think you're aware of them, but your head's not moving. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think
Okay.
I don't think you're aware that most of them are. They're not bothering you, most of them. But then one lands right on your temple and your legs go. And at that point, you don't even know where you are. You're just programmed in a position, and you're taking more elbows. Because if you remember, like if you watch the Ryan Spann one back, he's holding, taking elbows, and then there's one, his legs go. But at the point when his knees are about to touch the floor, he then comes back up into the takedown, and he stays there to take a few more elbows. And it was the same with Travis Brown against Gonzaga and against Josh Barnett. There's a moment where their legs kind of go and then they come back and they're still trying to wrestle. And it's like, I think you're in that position and you're either not hurt or you're completely out of it.
Yeah.
And I think that's the effect of those elbows. Like right into the temple, people's body just switches off. It's a dangerous weapon. And, Ryan Spann might be susceptible for it. I mean, he could have just switched to a single leg, ran the pipe, drag him off the fence. That's maybe where he could develop his skills a little bit. But I feel like he can hurt Dom Reyes anyway with his striking. I just think he'd be better to have him backed up against the fence. And
especially because Dom's coming off 2, knockout losses.
Exactly.
I know his last 3 losses have been to the all-time champion, in John Jones, then Jan Blachowicz, which was also a champion, and now the current one, which is Yuri Prochazka. So, but
yeah, and then you've got a bit of inconsistency from Ryan Spann.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like Ryan Spann might do this. I feel like he might get the submission. He's got 3 rear naked chokes on his record as well. So if he is able to take Dom Reyes down or put him down, that transition back to the feet is very dangerous for him. Ryan Spann could be on his back, flattening him out, chasing his neck, or he could be on a guillotine, driving him into the fence. I could see a standing guillotine finish.
With how tall
I can.
Dominick Reyes is.
Yeah, because if you think if he's in a guillotine position and he's then ran into the fence, a taller person is going to be curled up much faster than a smaller person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a taller person is going to be ran into the fence and they're just going to curl up. So his height and it's going to work against him.
Mm.
Yeah, I think Ryan Spann's going to do it. I think Ryan Spann's going to. I have high hopes for Ryan Spann. He has Superman tattooed on his chest. I mean,
I might go for Dominick Reyes here.
Really, yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't normally because when he came back from John Jones, I didn't think that he was going to beat Jan Blachowicz because I thought he might have been too in the I almost beat John Jones mindset to take Jan as serious. And I felt kind of like that happened with Yuri again.
Mm-hmm.
But he did part of his camp with Glover Teixeira as well. So maybe he's just like, all right, listen, I need to get back on my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And he has a speed advantage. And he might overwhelm Spann and just be able to just defend takedowns. And
maybe.
Yeah, I'm going to go for Reyes.
Yeah. I mean, he has got good takedown defense. What did I say it was? Got it pulled up in another screen. Oh, I've closed it already. Yeah, he has got 80% takedown offense. No, I think Spann's going to do it. I think he's going to hit him and hurt him enough to either make his takedown easier or to not have to take him down, be able to jump on him, and then sub him as he's getting back up. Maybe even get on a neck as he's on the floor and then run him up into a guillotine standing.
Mm.
Yeah, that's my prediction. I'm so confident. I can see it in my head already.
Yeah, but sometimes that's the issue because you're seeing one scenario in your head.
I know, but it's the right scenario, so I'm all good with this pick.
If it happens.
Hey, look, I am a lord. I have the certification.
Oh, okay, all right, bring it.
I'm just going to remind everybody. I'm changing my Twitter handle and everything.
It's a Lord Dan Hardy.
Lord.
Oh, and it does say the Lord. You gave me a whole bunch of crap last time with the Polish fighter. I forgot his name.
Lord Oleksiejczuk.
No, Michał, yeah.
Michał Oleksiejczuk.
Because I said the Lord, and you're like, you can't say that. You can only say Lord.
No, his nickname isn't the Lord, though. His nickname is Lord.
Yeah, but I was referring to that guy, so the Lord
so you were wrong.
guy.
His nickname's not the Lord.
But you can still say Lord.
You can.
All right.
You can.
Okay, next one. Come on.
Just reminding everybody.
Just remind me you're a Lord.
Yeah. We'd not even mentioned the stamps. You've already seen it now. What have I got, Jamie? A crown?
Yeah.
There we go. I've got a crown, and you've got a boxing glove, obviously, because you're alien. Fancy boxing gloves. I want the Goku ones.
Yeah.
I need to start watching Dragon Ball Z properly because I don't feel like I deserve a pair right now. You know? But black and red, I can rock black and red. That is my...
Why do you think it's black and red?
Because they are. The Goku one is black and red.
No, they're
It's
orange.
red and black. Is it orange?
Yeah.
It's like a dark orange.
Is it? Oh,
Yeah.
even better. Like that kind of orange.
Yeah.
Even better. I've got the screen
That's the
turned
whole
down on my phone. That's the
Oh,
problem.
yeah.
I have it super dark, so my eyes aren't being affected by it.
I heard you in the podcast, and I was like,
Yeah.
all
right.
Check the website, though, for the colors.
Yeah, elionparis.com. Check them out. Or establishedtitles.com/outlaw. Might as well give the sponsors another shout out while he is digging a hole to China in the corner. My goodness. Okay. Right. Are we moving on? You've picked Dominick Reyes, right?
Yes.
I'm going Ryan Spann. Okay. This next one. This one might be the stealer of the show. Like, I mean,
That's a good one.
all 5 of these following fights could steal the show. I'm least excited about the Carla Esparza one because she cannot engage, but I do feel like she's going to be forced to engage with Wei Li. But all of these fights, Riddell Moicano, Hooker Puelles, Edgar Gutierrez, Poirier Chandler. I mean,
I'm at that canvas at the end of the night. It's just going to be red.
it's just going to be a mess. It's going to look like a Charles Manson scene. Okay. So Brad Riddell against Renato Moicano. Brad Riddell with a record of 10-3. Moicano with a record of 16-5-1. 5'11" for Moicano has a height advantage of 4 inches as well as a 1 inch reach advantage. Pretty even on the stats. Strikes landed per minute fairly even. Slightly higher striking accuracy for Brad Riddell. Better striking defense from Moicano. About the same on average of takedowns as well, but slightly higher success and defense for Moicano, and of course more submissions.
Yes. 9 submissions for
He is
Moicano.
lethal. He is lethal, and he does look better in this division as well. Like he was a featherweight, and he's still tall for this division.
Yeah, absolutely. But Brad is like,
he's
ooh, powerhouse, kind of Volkanovski looking.
A little bit. Stands really long and low, and he's got. He's a great fighter, but he does get hit a lot. And I think, I could see him hitting and hurting Moicano, but I can also see Moicano just generally being a bit too much of an MMA fighter for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Being a bit too active at close range, being sharp up the midline with his knees, and of course, I think if he can hurt Brad Riddell, he can jump on his back and sub him. Yeah, I expect this one to be an absolute banger, though. Every time Brad Riddell fights, I'm excited for it. But he's often in fights where I'm like, he could win if he catches him with a couple of shots. He's a good striker. He's really good. But he
used to be the former Tiger Muay Thai striking coach.
Yeah, I've got to crack my hip. Honestly.
Yeah.
I'm going to get up and it's going to sound like my knee's popping back into place.
It sucks because the last fight versus Jalen Turner from Brad Riddell is a mounted guillotine choke.
Yeah.
But he didn't get guillotine choke because he was in a jiu-jitsu type of scenario. He got cracked.
Yeah.
Like, badly.
Yeah.
And I don't think Moicano is going to crack him like that in order to get something like a submission going. And Brad Riddell also had those, I think it was 5 takedowns versus Drew Dober. So I feel like he can mix in a lot of the strikes as well as just being like a pain in the butt.
Yeah. But then does Moicano's ground game mean that you know what you're going to get from Brad Riddell because he's not going to want to grapple with him? I think Brad Riddell, if he can keep this one in a kickboxing range, like Moicano does stand quite upright. You know what I mean? So Brad Riddell moving into range is going to be able to come over the top, kind of like what Korean Zombie did.
Yeah.
Like coming over the top and looping around. And he's got a nice striking arsenal as well, which means that he can probably exit on a low kick and start taking away that lead leg. It's the risk of getting too close and getting tangled up because I do feel like he's going to be able to wrestle to a point with him, but the longer you're tangled up with him, the more chance there is of him ending up on your back.
Yeah, of course. I don't feel like it's wrestling to, to let's play a jiu-jitsu game. I just feel like it's wrestling to mix it up so I can punch you hard when you get back up. Like in those kind of chaotic scrambles and exchanges, there are a lot of better openings that you don't have to set up by some masterful feint thing like Adesanya does,
Yeah.
You can just create that moment to whack it out of the park.
Yeah.
And I feel like Brad Riddell might be able to do that. His record is a bit misleading with those last 2 losses.
Yeah.
Because Fiziev, obviously, I mean, he's been knocking everybody out, and that was
That was a beautiful
good
kick.
placed wheel kick.
You know what Riddell could do within this one? He could do with the same kind of anti-jiu-jitsu grappling style that Volkanovski's got up against the fence.
Especially because they have the same body type.
No, I'm not underhooking. I'm not playing. I'm going to hit you with elbows and I'm going to frame so you can't get out the corner, but you can't drag me into it.
Yeah, that's what I feel like Brad Riddell's going to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to pick him for that reason.
Okay. I'm going to go Moicano because I
We're
was
just
right
going
on the fence.
so opposite.
Well, I was right on the fence, and the fact that you've gone for Brad Riddell has kind of pushed me in the direction of Moicano. I feel like he's going to be able to just like tangle him up, like take his neck, climb up his back up against the fence. I mean, how many rear naked chokes is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 rear naked chokes, and a guillotine. He's too good. I think he's going to get him. I think his striking is going to be effective enough to be able to move himself into close range to grapple. And I think he doesn't need to take Brad Riddell down. He needs to create a scramble where he's trying to stay on his feet, and then he'll get on his back. Yeah.
I just feel like his chin might not hold up as much.
Yeah, true. But then, who's Brad Riddell putting away? Like he's landing a high volume of strikes, isn't he? What's he got? Yeah, 50% knockout ratio, 5 knockouts out of 10. No knockouts in the UFC though, all before the UFC. I'm sticking with my pick. I think Moicano is going to be able to do it. I think he's going to be able to take his best shots and get close enough to tangle him up and sub him. Take his back, rear naked choke. Yeah. Okay, main card time.
That wasn't the main card?
No, that's the last fight on the prelims according to Wikipedia.
Oh yeah.
Well, right?
Yeah. Okay.
You see, they're delivering with these main events. The pre-prelim is Ottman Azaitar coming in to knock out Matt Frevola for that awful Tapology picture. And then this is going to be a banger between either Brad Riddell, who's going to crack Moicano a bunch of times and hurt him really bad, maybe even stop him, or Moicano tangle him up and submitting him. Like, they've banked on 2 finishes in those positions, I think. And I reckon we'll get them. Okay, first fight on the main card. Dan Hooker taking on Claudio Puelles.
Yes.
I kind of feel like Dan Hooker's going to get knee barred in this one.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It kind of feels like that's what's been laid out in front of him. Puelles reminds me of the young featherweight Charles Oliveira before he developed his striking skills. He even kind of moves like him. He's a southpaw, but he's kind of got that little bit of like a bob, a little bit of a move, like a rhythm to the way he moves. But he's not at that stage where he's happy and willing to take punches. Like, he's tough and he's worked through some really bad spots. I mean, was it, let me grab the guy's name, Felipe Silva, where he knee-barred him in the 3rd round.
Oh,
like, his eye was swollen and he was like, that was a really rough fight.
I saw him in the hotel because I was on that 5 card. I saw him in the hotel after, and it was, I think his orbital bone and everything had broken, and he just had fought through that and got that knee bar. That was crazy.
I really feel like if we keep an eye on this kid, that he's gonna develop into a top flight fighter.
He's doing a lot of work for UFC Espanol as like an analyst, and I think he commentates a little bit. And the stuff he says, I feel, just very high IQ. He's still getting used to the cameras in front of him.
Yeah, started Muay Thai at 13, and now he's knee barring everybody. Like, that's the thing in this. I kind of just like Dan Hooker's really up against it.
The good thing about Dan Hooker is now he's stopped with his 145 craziness.
Yeah, but he's been there. That's the problem. Like, TJ Dillashaw went down to, you know what I mean? Like, that's the problem. He shouldn't have ever gone down to that weight class. It was always too low for him.
He's a giant as well.
And I feel like Poirier is a strong, well-conditioned fighter that's still growing into his game. Like, and I just feel like Dan Hooker's going to get knee barred in this one. Like, and Poirier might take a bit of a beating for the first round and a bit until he's able to isolate one of those legs. But when he attacks it, he jumps on it.
Yeah.
Like the panic tap from Clay Guida, oh man, and the Felipe Silva one. I mean, the curve in his knee, the hyperextension. It's weird. It's weird nasty to choose that as your submission. You know what I mean? Like knee bars is not. It's not a high percentage move, really.
Yeah, but I kind of like them over like heel hooks sometimes because heel hooks kind of leave your face pretty exposed to get punched.
True.
And then like knee bars, your butt's kind of in the way.
You kind of feel like you lose position a lot of the time though if you don't get it. Like the thing is, the reason why he's so effective with him is because of the speed at which he attacks him. Yeah. If he was slower, people would get out, and then he would find himself in bad positions where he's going to take some big shots. But like the way that he set that one up against Clay Guida, how he like positioned his knee underneath and then rolled him over, and before he knew it, he was in the knee bar and it was already hyperextended.
But I just feel like that's how you have to go for leg attacks. You can't just like wait and chill, especially when somebody can punch you. For sure,
absolutely. So, quick tale of the tape. So, Dan Hooker, 21 wins and 12 losses. Claudio Poirier, 13 wins and 2 losses. Or is he 12 and 2? I think that's the Ultimate
12
Fighter.
And 2.
That's the Ultimate Fighter difference, isn't it?
Yeah.
Obviously, Dan Hooker is taller, 6 foot, so he's got a 2-inch height advantage and a 3-inch reach advantage. Very high striking output for Dan Hooker by comparison, more than double. I mean, you kind of can't compare these stats based on their opponents, really. You know, you look at Dan Hooker against Paul Felder, and that's a stat-changing fight all the way through. 78% takedown defense for Dan Hooker is going to be the most important thing in this one. I don't know how much success Poirier is going to have at getting the fight to the floor, but I feel like with the confidence that he's got, he might just drag it there. Yeah. It doesn't really matter. And I can also see Dan Hooker chasing him to the floor if he feels like he's hurt. And I keep going back to the same thing. Poirier just looks like that Charles Oliveira before he found that Muay Thai confidence, and do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It's like he's got it and it's there, but if he runs into a brick wall, he can kind of wince and be like, "Oh no, this is not working out." You know what I mean? And I can see Dan Hooker getting confidence from that. If he starts to back him up and he's drilling him with some shots, like say Dan Hooker cracks him with a body shot and hurts him. Like, that's the point when Hooker's like, right, here we go, I get a finish. And then he charges in to get the finish, and Poirier's is Imanari rolled into a knee bar. You know, yeah.
I can see him even going for an Imanari roll. Right. Yeah, if he feels like it. Especially if he sees, oh, look at what like Islam took him down and controlled him like that. I know Islam's on another level, yeah. But still, that must give you some confidence when you can feel that you can take advantage of those same situations that were presented and created.
It's difficult to know what you do with Dan Hooker at this point, because he's always a game fighter, and there's certainly a level that he competes at which is near elite, but he's not able to breach that kind of top echelon of the division to get close enough to a belt. So then do you pull him right back and do you kind of rebuild him? Or do you keep putting losses on his record until the point when they cut him and he goes somewhere else?
Yeah, but I mean, losses are Dustin Poirier,
Michael
Chandler, Islam Makhachev, and Arnold Allen, who just won as well. Yeah. And it's just
and he shouldn't have been in that weight class either.
Yeah, I feel like with Arnold's not more high up there just because he's so quiet, not because of his skill level or his record.
Yeah, no, he's lethal. I think Poirier is going to knee bar him.
Yeah, I can see that. Or some type of submission.
Which way you going?
Poirier's.
Yeah? Both of us going for Poirier's?
Yes.
Finally you agree with me. Prince of Peru. Finally you agree with me on something. At least one of your picks will be right. Stick a little boxing glove on my side, Jamie, so she knows where she's going with that pick. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh, Frankie Edgar's retirement fight.
That sounds so bad.
I know. Aren't we all nervous for him? I'm nervous for him. I think Chris Gutierrez is just a nightmare of an opponent. Just because he's so wild, he's just so hard to predict. Like switching stance, lunging into range. He's everything that Frankie Edgar struggles with. Hard low kicks. Remember what he did to Vince Morales?
Yeah.
Like, beat the shit out of his lead leg. Frankie's always struggled with low kicks. Like, well, I remember doing the breakdown for Frankie and talking about him crossing his feet against Aldo and Aldo reading that foot cross and low kicking it.
Didn't his coach text you?
Yeah, I saw Mark Henry in New York, and he was like, send that video to Frankie so he can see that it's not just me that sees it. I don't know. I feel like Frankie's kind of he is who he is now. 35 fights into his career, Frankie Edgar is who he is. He's going to be in shape, and he's going to be Frankie Edgar. And Frankie can overwhelm most people with pace and with footwork and with striking. But if people start to get through to him, it unravels. And a lot of people know Frankie Edgar's style now. Like, people are finding ways up the centre line through his guard to knock him out with knees and kicks.
Yeah, absolutely. Like
Gutierrez
Chito Vera did. That disgusting front
rough
kick.
That was.
Yeah. And some people say that he was going to, what do you call it? That he was winning the match. But on the judges' scorecard, it was going to be like a split.
Right.
Because 2 of the 3 judges had it 1-1 going into the third. And I felt like Chito started to take over in the third. So he still would have lost.
Yeah. I mean, Frankie's always going to be good because of the experience that he's got and the skills that he's got. But there is, I think he's made the right call to call this the retirement fight. And the good thing is, regardless of what happens, he's done and he's going out on his terms. Of course, he'd like a win. But I think Chris Gutierrez
out of his last 5 fights, the last 5 losses, 4 have been knockouts.
Yeah, and 1 split decision to Pedro Munoz.
Yeah, and that was the win that he had.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That was a split still.
Yeah.
I could see Chris Gutierrez hammering his lead leg, slowing him down, and then hitting him up the centre with like a skip knee or a lead uppercut or something like that.
Absolutely.
Oh, I don't like picking against Frankie. I'll be relieved when Frankie's retired because I don't feel like he's gonna progress now. You know what I mean? And I feel like they're not gonna give him
easy opponents because he has such a name that he's probably getting paid a lot to show up because of his name. So they're like, okay, well, how are we going to benefit?
Yeah.
Let's throw you some absolute
Got to squeeze
killer.
the value out of this dude before he's done. Squeeze the value out of him.
Basically.
Maybe Chris Gutierrez will get a leap off him and become a new fan favourite. I think Chris Gutierrez is going to do him. I think he's going to hurt him. I could see him. Yeah, I can see him hitting him up the centre line, but I do feel like the low kicks are going to be a real big key in this one for Gutierrez. I feel like landing hard on that lead leg over and over again. 8 wins by knockout out of 18 wins.
And that spinning back fist KO that Gutierrez landed.
Was beautiful. That was really nice. I didn't do the tail of the tape for this one, did I? So, so 23, 24-10 with 1 draw for Frankie Edgar. 18-3-2 for Chris Gutierrez, 3-inch height advantage, but Frankie's got the 1-inch reach advantage. I mean, everything else is kind of irrelevant at this point. High striking output for Gutierrez, good striking accuracy. Yeah, and good takedown defense, 73%. Yeah, 10 years. Yeah. 10 years in age. 10 years in age. Yeah, I think Gutierrez is gonna get this win.
Same.
And Frankie's going to ride off into the sunset, hopefully not too injured and hopefully with a couple of big checks in his pocket because he deserves them.
Yeah, Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer, absolutely. Okay. Coco main event. People's main event. Dustin Poirier against Michael Chandler.
People's Slugfest main
People's
event.
Slugfest main event. So,
This is gonna be.
28 wins, 7 losses, and 1 no contest for Dustin Poirier. 23 wins and 7 losses for Michael Chandler. Is that another firework? Bastards. 1-inch height advantage, 1-inch reach advantage for Dustin Poirier. But as I talked about in the War Room, I was talking about Chaser and Broadside.
Broad stance, yeah.
Yeah. And Dustin Poirier, like, his height or reach advantage is gone because of the way that he stands.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like Chandler's really long in his stance, lead leg's really vulnerable.
Yes.
But he moves in and out of range really quickly. And that right hand that he's landed, I show a couple of clips from his old Bellator days in the War Room. That punch against Pitbull, even in slow motion, it's too fast.
Yeah.
You're like,
I remember seeing him going
there?
back, yeah.
Bad. Like one of those fainting goats.
Yeah. But because his leg is so much out there, I mean, Dustin Poirier is the one that, kick Connor's calf to death, basically. And he was the one that implemented that game plan and probably made it the most famous calf kicks.
Yeah.
So
he was one of the first to start using it as well.
Oh, was he?
Yeah. Because I think officially probably Ben Henderson. If I think back, I think Ben Henderson was the first one. But as soon as Ben Henderson had done it, we had Dustin Poirier against Cub Swanson, which I was talking about in the War Room, and he uses it over and over again in that. And Cub was really reacting badly to it. He was like trying to tuck his leg away, which was then giving Poirier follow-up shots. I mean, Southpaw v Orthodox is the one thing that makes it more challenging. That's the only thing to consider. But then, I don't know. I mean, my general thought is that Poirier is going to be moving laterally against the fence, and Chandler's going to be trying to pressure him into the fence, and he's going to be either throwing that right cross to the head or the body, and then level changing up against the fence and trying to take Poirier down. But I think that'll be a game plan that will extend over the distance, as opposed to it being the first round. I think he'd be quite happy to stalk and try and power punch in the first. Then he might start stitching his takedowns on second and third. Because Dustin, if he is subbed, it's later in the fight. And if he is knocked out, it's earlier in the fight.
Yeah.
So that I think is logical for Chandler. For Poirier, I think he kind of hangs back along the fence, keeps chopping into the calf and picking him off with his straight punches. And then when he finds the opportunity, do one of those rushes that he did against Max Holloway, stepping through, power punching, running him down against the fence. And then that's where his barrage starts, where he's hooking and weaving and bobbing and bringing his elbows up to cover his head. That's when he's really dangerous. And that's the point when Chandler level changes to shoot and then goes straight into a Darce.
Yeah, but I feel like Chandler is now not fighting how he was fighting in Bellator. He's now fighting like, let's make money. Yeah. How do I make money? That's how I'm going to fight. What you guys want to see? Put your things on Twitter, and that's how I'm going to fight, because that is what I see him doing. Yeah. And the issue on his fight now, that he's realized that it's just about making money. And if you have a crazy slugfest, that you will get it. And that's what he wants to show. Now, has he shown that a few times to where you think that's going to happen and now he comes back calculated? Obviously, you don't know that till the day of the fight. But that's just kind of what he's shown to do. And Poirier's kind of the same. I feel like he's also just kind of wanting to make money.
Yeah.
But realizing that the best way to make money
is to keep winning.
Yeah, for sure. Does that make sense? 100%. Like the best thing with Conor wouldn't have been like knocking him out or whatever. It would have been just to beat him. So you have to fight me again.
That's it. 100%. Yeah. And I think Chandler's turned that corner where it's win or lose, but he's going to go out in a blaze of glory regardless. And I think Poirier is quite happy to fight in a blaze of glory, but at the same time, he's going to be trying to make smart decisions to increase his odds to win.
Yes.
For sure.
Yes.
Yeah. I think Poirier does this. I think I could quite easily see Poirier subbing him, to be honest. I think I could see him winning a striking battle to the point where Chandler's bloody and a bit beaten up. And I think I could see Chandler dropping him as well. I could see Chandler catching him and hurting him and dropping him, putting him down and forcing him to kind of scurry back to his feet.
Yeah.
But I think eventually Poirier gets through. You know, like he did against Gaethje and Alvarez, when it's just like, I'm just going to work harder than you. I'm just going to land more punches than you. His striking output's ridiculous.
I don't think he'll sub him, though. I think that's a bit like over.
I don't know. I could see in a third round, and I don't and.
Chandler's
never been subbed, has he?
3 rounds.
Yeah, Chandler's never been subbed, has he? Yeah, but just like you were saying, the way that he fights, he's been knocked out 4 times. I can see him being badly hurt by Poirier.
And then into a submission.
Then getting caught.
Like Brad Riddell, that
exactly.
He was caught with against Jalen Turner. Overhand right to guillotine from Mount.
Exactly.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I just don't think...
I don't think Poirier's going to be...
Poirier's really like...
No, I don't think Poirier's going to be trying to. I don't think I don't think he's going to try and force a submission.
Okay.
But what I do think is if is in the third round when he's got Chandler backed up against the fence and he's probably got a swollen face or a bloodied nose or a bloodied mouth, and he's taking a few shots and Poirier's like pressuring him, and every time he swings back, Poirier's dipping out the way or dipping underneath. Then he level changes out of pressure and Poirier sprawls his hips back and wraps up that Darce and then runs him to the ground with it. And he already can't breathe because he's got a mouthful of blood. And Poirier's going to grab that leg, pull it in.
I don't think he's gonna sub him.
Okay.
I can see what you're seeing, but when was the last time that he darsed somebody?
Oh, it was a while ago. It was a while ago. It doesn't mean it's not there, though.
No, of course it's there, but...
Hang on, I'm going to answer that question for you.
2012.
Yeah.
In the Ultimate Fighter finale.
Jonathan Brookins.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
and Pablo Garza.
Okay, let's not look at 2012 and then look at Michael Chandler. Because Michael Chandler is going to be
that's
pretty
the
hard to knock
That's
out.
the whole point of this show. You don't have to agree with me. Just because I'm right, it doesn't mean that you don't have to agree with me. So what do you think is going to happen? Chandler going to knock him out? Or you think Poirier's going to win by decision?
I think so, yeah. I think so, yeah. Unless he... And obviously you can't say that because that's the whole point of picks.
What?
Like, you can't be
Yeah,
like...
you can't pick both.
Let me see what he looks like the first minute of the fight to see if he's going to do crazy shit or not. That's really what what determines my pick.
So then that's what you've got to determine before the fight starts. And given the fact that they don't like one another, and the fact that Chandler's already fighting like that fight against Gaethje was fight of the night and fight of the year.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like the bug that people get caught with sometimes, like Diego Sanchez got it earlier.
Yeah, I was thinking about it. Yeah.
Like Diego was a technical grappler. And then he got into that brawl with Clay Guida, and people were like, "Holy shit, this is awesome!" And Michael Chandler's in that position now. Like honestly, it doesn't matter. You could put Michael Chandler in any fight for the next 10 fights, and he could lose all of them. Still going to be fun fights, and I'll still enjoy watching them. Same thing with Poirier. Neither of them have anything to prove, which is why I think this is just a really fun fight. And I think it's 3 rounds, so they can both put their foot on the gas. But I just feel like Poirier makes slightly better decisions. And I think that will mean he'll land a lot more punches. I think Chandler will be hurt. And I think he'll level change into a Darce. Or like a high elbow guillotine or something.
Yeah. I see it all until the last bit.
Until the last bit.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can agree on that.
Okay.
Same person. I still think Dustin. I think Dustin's going to win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just not by sub.
Just not by sub.
Okay.
By a decision.
Okay. I'm going to be jumping on the sofa in that 3rd round. Especially when he locks up that Darce choke and be like, see, what I tell you?
All right, we'll see. We have a lot of different picks, so I'm excited for this because, I go really behind the people I pick for. I'm just like, come on.
Yeah, you do.
I get really
angry when you're wrong as well.
Oh, yes, I do.
Yeah, that's okay.
I do.
Okay, we're moving on.
Okay, we're
Co-main
moving
event.
on. Co-main event.
Okay, for the women's strawweight title, Carla Esparza against Zhang Weili. Current champ against former champ. Do you say Zhang Weili's coming in as a big favourite?
Yes, massive favorite.
Massive.
Well, just on Tapology, it's 93% Zhang and 7% Esparza.
Well, did he get the whole of China to vote for it or something? Holy shit.
Maybe that's why the odds
some
are
bot accounts that have been bloody tampering with those elections as well. Anyway, yeah, I mean, I kind of agree with that. I can kind of see lots of different ways for Zhang Weili to win here based on her aggression and her striking and her power. I feel like she's strong enough to be able to really make it difficult for Esparza to take her down.
Yeah.
And I feel like Carla's only got that one option because she's not confident in her striking still. Like that fight against Rose was awful. They were both to blame for it, let's be honest, but it was an awful fight. Neither of them really had a plan. Neither of them really had a plan. You can't allow a fight to wander away from you for 25 minutes and then be happy with the result either way. It was a shit show. And that's the problem with Carla Esparza, is that can happen. Like the fight can coast. That's not going to happen against Zhang Weili. She's going to be under pressure like she was against Joanna.
Yeah.
And what happened in that fight?
Yeah,
Joanna ironed her into the canvas with elbows. That was one of the best examples of takedown defense plus elbows that we've seen in the UFC. And I think Weili's stronger physically than Joanna. I think her grappling's better than Joanna's.
Yeah.
And she's got subs off her back. I mean, I know she got that mounted that triangle off Aguilar, wasn't it? As she was rolling from the mount position, but as soon as she locked that up, she was elbowing.
Yeah. Of like this 93% that thinks she's gonna win, 80% is by knockout.
Really, yeah.
Yeah.
I think she will.
Yeah.
I could see her stopping her with knees to the body. I can see her dropping against the fence.
I could
Carla's
see her
looking
making.
at this wasn't the fight before her wedding, because there was no way that she was going to A, show up with the belt, or B, show up with a face that wasn't horrendously swollen. Like Zhang Wei leads too much for her, I think.
Yeah, but like Carla does have great takedowns, and
She
she's
does.
persistent, and she goes for it. And you know what? 44 takedowns in 14 fights.
That was the stat I was talking about in the war room. So what's interesting about that? Oh, I've not got my notepad with me. So she's the number one stat leader for takedowns at 44, but she's 7th for takedown accuracy with 35%.
But sometimes they count like when you're chaining a takedown as like multiple attempts, which is a little bit annoying. I don't remember what fight it was that I was watching, and then I think like Dominick Cruz made a joke about it, and so did DC.
Dominick Cruz don't make jokes. Don't give me that shit.
Okay, well, he like he did that to the guys at the truck. He hit him with a quick 1-2.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not saying he won't put somebody in his place and that wouldn't be funny, because often it is funny when he does it. But yeah,
Yeah, like just the chain of attacks don't.
no, I
It
understand what you're
shouldn't be
saying.
like 4 takedown attempts.
Yeah.
When you're just chaining and wrestling something together, because as the level goes up, people are obviously going to defend your first takedown,
sure.
so you have to go for second, third, fourth until you get it. But you're still within it, if that makes sense.
It's
you're
still an effort to
going
take them
for it.
down. Yeah.
Yeah, and that same one thing.
Yeah, it
And
was the
she
same as
times it
Hamzat.
well.
You know when Hamzat fought Leach,
Yes.
like they scored the Leach as defending a takedown in that first round.
What do you
Where?
defend?
What? Because Hamzat put him back on his feet for a moment before picking him up and carrying him over to see Dana. It was just like
Yeah.
who's coming up with these stats? DC always talks about the difference between a takedown and a mat return as well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that would be an interesting distinction to have in mixed martial arts. And the other thing as well is when it comes to control time, which actually does go in Carla Esparza's favour. I'll pull that stat up in a second. Control time up against the fence is also counted in as well, which is that's not good, because like
Yes.
I just don't feel like yeah, you're controlling them, but you just a lot of the time people are slowing the fight down in that position as a way of either like halting the striking or transitioning to a grappling range. It's like
Yeah.
it's like an
Bit of
intermediary.
stalling.
Yeah, you kind of can't. I don't think you can score that as control. Control is on the ground, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And so Carla Esparza is the leader for control time with 58 minutes and 51 seconds of control, and top position time is 55 minutes 15 seconds. The reason I'm pointing that out is because control time and top position can often be different. Like you could have 40 minutes of control time and 20 minutes of top position, and you've, over the span of your fights, held somebody up against the fence for an accumulative amount of 20 minutes, which then adds to your control time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, that makes
But
sense.
what we're seeing here is that she's got 59 minutes of control and 55 minutes in top position. So she's only spending 4 minutes total of controlling them on the feet,
Yeah.
which shows you that takedown aggression. And if 44 takedowns is 35% of what she succeeded with, then you're looking at 120 odd takedown attempts with my terrible inaccurate maths. But you know what I mean? Like that's a stat in itself, which is very impressive. Like she comes in she's either top position for everything grappling, or she's just under Tatiana Suarez.
Yeah.
She's got really, really good stats. And I feel like if she can get this fight to the floor, she most likely will be able to slow Zhang down and wrestle her and exhaust her. But she's got to be successful in the first round and the second round before Zhang starts to get tired. And I feel like she's just physically very strong. Elbows in the clinch, knees to the body, nastiness, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And also, what's around her and everything that surrounds her is this thing to become like a chin. Like she lives, breathes, and has no mental issue. Like you can punch her and she'll keep going. Like this is, life or death for her.
Yeah,
and you can tell that. You can tell that in her training. You can tell that how she looks physically. You can tell that how she fights. And some of the strawweight, like have outside issues. Like I felt like Rose felt a lot of the pressure of being a champion, and I feel Carla doesn't really want to be in like a slugfest type of fight. She wants to, implement her game plan and win, which is take you down, crucifix you, land some elbows, because, getting out of the crucifix sometimes take a little bit of time. It's a complicated position. It's like getting out of a when somebody has your back in a triangle. In a body triangle. It takes a bit to get out of it. And usually when you're there and you can land elbow, especially if you can cut them like she did versus Yang Xiaonan, which is also a really strong, powerful striker.
I would say Yan Xiaonan's just not quite as powerful as Zhang Weili. She's probably a little bit quicker, but she made the mistake of closing distance really quickly, because we watched that earlier, didn't we?
Yeah.
She threw that big right hand in the first round. She was taken down, and she spent the majority of that first round on the floor where she got hit with that big elbow that opened her up. And that over 5 rounds as well is a value. And then when the second round started, she wasn't nearly as aggressive. But the first strike that she threw was that body kick, and it was caught, and she was taken down again.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like that was a very impressive performance from Esparza, but I don't feel like she's going to be able to do that against Zhang Weili. I feel like she might be able to catch a kick, but then taking her down from that's going to be a lot more difficult. Body locking her up against the fence is going to be a struggle. Like, she's going to need to chain takedowns together, and she's got to not get discouraged if she doesn't take her down for the first round. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing. That's like you were saying with Carla Esparza. She wants to compete. She doesn't really want to go through too much adversity in there. Like, she's not, like, you're not going to get a fight with Carla Esparza like Joanna and Weili had.
Yeah, of course.
Like Esparza will wilt before that fight happens, whereas Joanna's never going to give up. You know what I mean? Even now, I think you could throw her in there with no conditioning or training camp, and she'd still fight like a savage.
Yeah.
That's just her programming. I don't see the same thing with Esparza. She's more of a competitor. But like you say, Weili is there because it is everything. Like, this is her opportunity to make something of herself, and nothing else is gonna get in that way. Like the anger that she had when she was knocked out by Rose, while she's still wobbling about on her feet, and she's like, no, and she's like, you know what I mean? You could tell how frustrated she was by it.
I feel like Rose is the best in this division, but I feel like the crown is too heavy.
That's a great way of putting it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think she likes to know that she's the best in the division, but I don't think she likes to be the best in the division. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, she likes to get in there and fight these opponents to kind of overcome that personal doubt that she's got. But then in the aftermath of that, when that results in her being the champion, that's the point when it's like, fuck, now everybody's on my case.
Yeah,
now
like when she went against Joanna, or when she went against Weili. It was two things that people were kind of like, wait,
like that.
what?
That Esparza fight was really odd, and she just kind of allowed it to slip through her fingers.
She was like, well, I thought I won.
Yeah. A little bit self-sabotage in some ways, I think Rose could be, but not intentionally, just because, like you said, the crown's heavy for her. Whereas Weili's about ready to rip the crown off Carla Esparza's head, knee her head into the front row and steal the belt and take it back to China with her.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
so
how I
with
feel
Zhang
about
Weili.
the top of the strawweight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I think we're both set on Weili in that one, aren't we? I don't mean to underestimate Carla Esparza, but she's going to have to put a really strong game plan together for 25 minutes and be dominant to be able to stop Weili. And I'd be very impressed if she can.
It's not like I don't see her taking her to the ground and just because flat on your back, some people just aren't as... And because of the style that Weili has, I don't think she's ultra master of jiu-jitsu to where she's going to be comfortable on the ground. I think she's going to be powerful enough to just boss herself back up.
Yeah.
But she will struggle to get back up on Carla because especially she's so low.
Mm-hmm.
And she
5'1", isn't she, Carla? I didn't do tail of the tape. Yeah, 5'1" Carla is compared to 5'4" for Weili. So a 3-inch height advantage, but got the same reach. High striking output for Weili, better striking accuracy. 60% takedown defense compared to 35% takedown accuracy, but as we said, that's over a lot of attempts. And 60% takedown defense, interestingly, is only over 5 attempts. Like, each one of her opponents, her first 3 fights in the UFC, attempted to take her down once and failed. and then Rose took her down twice. So it's like 3 failed attempts from 3 early opponents, and then 2 successful takedowns against Rose, and that's
to where she controlled her a bit in that
Yeah,
part,
true.
which is where I see Carla Esparza maybe being able to do that.
true. But I also would say that she's far more expectant of being shot on, being wrestled in this fight than she was against Rose.
Yeah.
I think Rose may have caught her off guard a little bit.
Did you see when Whaley, the video of her picking up Francis
Yeah.
Ngannou?
Yeah, I don't think I'd be able to do that. I think I'd snap in half trying to lift him up. Jeez, yeah.
I wouldn't
Imagine
even
what
try
she's-
that just in case.
Imagine
before
how
a
light
fight.
Carla Esparza will feel compared to that.
Yeah, true.
You might just throw her through the lighting rig. Jeez. Okay, so we're both going Zhang Weili for that one.
Yeah.
Okay, main event time. Main event time for the middleweight title. Alex Pereira against Israel Adesanya. Let me do a quick tale of the tape. 23-1 for Adesanya, 23-0 as a middleweight. 6-1 for Alex Pereira. Lost his first pro fight by rear naked choke after throwing everything and the kitchen sink at his opponent. But then has won 6 fights since and has looked very, very good doing it. Both 6'4", 1 inch reach advantage for Israel Adesanya, but I do feel like Pereira's gonna look more physically imposing in there. I don't know about you.
Yeah, he's massive.
Yeah.
He just lives running to maintain a weight
Really.
somewhat close. And it's not close, just
No.
somewhat close to where you can do a crazy weight cut.
Yeah.
That's what he does.
He's a scary dude. I won't be surprised
He's
at all if we see him at light heavyweight at some point.
I feel like he should be a
Yeah.
light heavyweight. I think he just isn't because he knows that I can go after Izzy and I
For
can
sure.
have this right now, what we're talking about, opportunity. He saw it. Like, I remember being in the same gym that he used to train with in Sao Paulo, and the coach telling me that he was going to do MMA, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. Obviously I was there because of him, because anybody that has ever beat him, he's like come back and knocked him out.
Mhm.
I'm going to
Yeah.
take zero like doubt from your head. But I just remember thinking that was quite, I didn't think it was going to turn to this.
Mm.
And just that he was able to have so much vision to see, like, sitting on the couch, like, oh, I've beat this guy, to then make it to this point.
Yeah,
It's pretty awesome. Obviously with the help of UFC marketing and
for sure.
opportunities from what he's done. But you see other, like Gokhan Saki,
Mhm.
somebody else that came from kickboxing and didn't have the same success as he has. So
Yeah.
he's clearly,
I mean, the fact that Israel Adesanya is the champion and that they fought twice and Pereira knocked him out in their second fight is the reason why he's in the title shot now. There's no doubt about that.
yeah.
And if he'd have worked his way through other fighters in the division, I think he would have really struggled with some of them. This is certainly a stylistic matchup that's favourable for him, and I can absolutely see him winning the belt, but it throws the whole division up in the air because I don't feel like he's ready to deal with the likes of Marvin Vettori and Rob Whittaker. I feel like even Derek Brunson might be able to get to him and take him down.
Yeah.
And you know, with Israel Adesanya, with the 23 fights he's already had in the division, like, we know now he's a good mixed martial artist. We know he's got good takedown defense. He can time his knees to catch people on the level change. There's a lot of questions about Alex Pereira at the moment, and I don't feel like we've had most of those questions answered up until this point when he's got the title shot. Like, if Adesanya was ranked number 3 or 4, Pereira would be down, outside the top 10.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So
He would get somewhat fast tracked because of his background. Just like Michael Chandler, fast tracked to the top because he's coming from Bellator and has done things,
Mm-hmm.
That just happens. Like, when you're good marketing because you come from somewhere else and you've been really successful at it, I think that would have still helped. I just don't think he would have been title shot
No,
immediately.
for sure.
Especially, and you know what they were playing at, because they were both matched up on the same card. And then they had Alex Pereira like go sit down and watch the fight, and then, Israel
and they've
call
matched
him
Pereira
out.
perfectly. They've matched him really perfectly with the opponents that he's had. I mean, Michaelides was always going to level change if he saw you leaping at him. And Sean Strickland, his striking's so ugly. I had a little bit of a complaint about his striking in the war room, so I won't get into it too much. But it's just such an ugly style of fighting. Like, anybody with decent striking and power is always going to put him away.
Yeah.
You know, it was just a beautiful performance. And I've watched that knockout on LFA against Powell, I don't know how many times this week, over and over and over again. The guy's lethal. There's no doubt about it. I just don't think he's accustomed yet to mixed martial arts to get to Israel Adesanya. I think Adesanya is going to be able to outpoint him.
Yeah.
I think he'll struggle to stop him because Pereira can take a hell of a shot. Like, even in their second fight, the count was a standing count. Adesanya didn't put him down. And I don't know whether the 4-ounce gloves, the 10-ounce gloves will make that much of a difference to Adesanya because he's not got massive pop on his punches. It has to be the right scenario for him to knock somebody out.
Yeah.
And I think he takes a hell of a shot, and he's dangerous enough in range for Adesanya not to linger around and sit down on his punches. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I feel like Izzy's got to the point where, and I think like GSP did this as well, that the goal was to defend the championship. It wasn't to give you the most interesting fight. Like, if he had to stick to a jab the whole fight, he was going to do it. Because in the end, people go like, what's your record? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, opposite of Michael Chandler.
Yeah. We saw that against Joel Romero, didn't we? Because he got cracked early in the first round against Romero, and then he was like, okay, I'm not gonna roll the dice on this dude. He hits too hard. And of course he knows this. That. Yeah.
It knows this with Alex Pereira. But where I could see maybe Alex Pereira connecting that hook is that sway away hook that he got Robert Whittaker with. I just feel like you just trade a shot with Pereira, and that's where you get caught.
Yeah.
For me, that's what his style is. That what do you call it in Spanish? We call it encuentro, like
we'll
encounter.
Just stick with that encounter.
Yeah. No, but it's not like I'm encountering, like...
It's like a trade. It's like a trade-off.
Yeah, just like same time, but I'm just going to be better and cleaner than you. And the people that he knocks out, it's not like their hand isn't up.
Yeah.
It's right here. It's well guarded. But he just comes at this weird quarter angle that just, And I just...
Hits him there, does it?
Yeah, just straight through the guard. Hits the guard, and it just don't matter.
So here's a question. If one of them's going to grapple, which one do you think it's going to be?
Probably Izzy.
You think?
I would. I don't know why Bruno Silva didn't. He got him down, and he got him pretty tired. And there was a point where he was getting a really good off in the exchanges.
I just don't know.
But then he just kind of wanted to be like, oh, I'm a knockout artist. Mate, take the path of least resistance.
But then
Star Wars, right into the Death Star, right at that little point. If they didn't go, I'm going to take off the whole thing. I'm going to go into that little point.
Okay, so this is like Adesanya driving one of the X-wings with the TIE fighters chasing him.
No, not exactly like this. I'm just saying that.
Because I mean, let's be honest. If they ran that scene back 100 times, most of the time the Death Star withstands
that
the
was
attack.
A bad example. I'm just saying that they just went for the best outcome thing.
No, I agree. And I think that's how Adesanya's going to play it, and that's why I don't think he'll grapple. Like, I've been trying to play around with it.
Well, you said if one grapples, which one do you think it is?
Yeah, exactly. I was asking you a question.
You can't trick me with these questions.
I'm not tricking you. You could have given the right answer and said Pereira, but you didn't. You chose the wrong answer, and that's not my fault. No. The reason I'm saying that, though, is because, like you said, Adesanya is the champion. What he needs to do is do enough to maintain the belt and beat this guy that he knows is a thunderous puncher, right? But he also knows he's incredibly strong. Like, so Adesanya locking up against him and trying to wrestle is just it's burning energy. You might as well just keep your finger on the button with the lighter and burn it all off, because that's what he's doing every time he's grappling, because it's not a comfortable range for him. And Alex Pereira is a big, strong dude. Like, I feel physically like he's going to be able to move Adesanya around if he wants to.
I agree. But how long has Pereira been doing all this wrestling and grappling because sometimes you can be really strong and you're pushing in the wrong direction.
For sure. But why did Adesanya's ground game look so bad against Jan Blachowicz then? Like, I mentioned it a couple of times in breakdowns and people got really upset, like, you can't fucking say it. His ground game looked really bad. Every time he hits the ground, he looks like he doesn't really know what he's doing, like he just misses jiu-jitsu class. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, in the countdown, he was like trying to show that he did like grappling and stuff.
And it was the first time they'd done it in that training camp.
No, but it just
it
didn't look very natural.
No, I don't honestly, I don't know how much he works on his jiu-jitsu. I just
Yeah.
it just when he was in half guard bottom against Jan, he had his inside leg, the leg that was on the inside of Jan's legs, hooked over. The other one was just kind of drifting around. There was nothing stopping Jan progressing from that position. He just made loads of like really simple mechanical mistakes.
Yeah.
Where he put his underhook compared to his head, underhook on the opposite side to his head, like inside leg on the outside leg just kind of drifting around, not doing the basics that you know are going to keep you in a safe position when you're on the ground. And then the other thing as well is, if you're Pereira and you know you hit like a truck, like you can hit people on the feet or on the ground. It doesn't really matter where you land your shots. It wouldn't surprise me if Teixeira's like, listen, dude, let me just show you this really simple takedown. Because Marvin Vettori was constantly trying to take Izzy down against the fence, and Izzy loves defending takedowns against the fence because he can have the back to square it, split his hips into. And Vettori never adapted. Now, if Vettori had have had Teixeira in his corner at the end of the second round, he'd have said to him, dude, when you're in on that double, switch it to a single and drag him off the fence. And I think Alex Pereira could do that. Like, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, you know what? I think Glover Teixeira would give him at least enough grappling to be problematic for Izzy. I still don't think either of them are going to want to wrestle. I certainly don't think Izzy will want to wrestle because I think he'll feel like it's burning unnecessary energy that he could really do within the championship rounds. Because I think Izzy will be thinking 5 rounds.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, I think so. Especially like because Alex, I just feel like he gets hit in the leg a lot.
Yeah.
He gets leg kicked a lot. But also just takes that one that you're like, you know, hit him in the leg because that's what you've been doing and you don't realize you're at the wrong angle and he just, you know.
And then like the range is different in mixed martial arts as well.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Izzy's going to feel like he's further away. And the way that he was able to attack Whittaker's leg in the second fight and Paulo Costa's leg, if he's able to pepper that calf and make it difficult for Pereira to plant his foot on that lead leg, that's going to take away his hook as well.
Yeah.
I feel like it's a risky 25 minutes, but I feel like Adesanya is going to be able to outpoint him.
Yeah, me too.
And I'm excited to see it. I really am, because I think these two are probably two of the highest level strikers in all of mixed martial arts.
I think Joe Rogan should get half pay-per-view money for this fight. Like, just how much publicity, any publicity that you see on Alex Pereira, it's just been like him just...
It's just Joe Rogan going, he's the scariest guy in mixed martial arts.
Yeah. I think I just think Joe Rogan single-handedly sold this pay-per-view for anyone. It isn't even that they fought twice before, you know, because first fight, I think Izzy won. For sure. I think Izzy won. And the second fight, he was clearly winning until he messed up. But Izzy's just the type of person that's not going to happen to me twice. Yeah, potentially. Potentially. Yeah. You know what I mean? Potentially. But, you know, with him. I know it's, it's like Ngannou type of, if he hits scary power. Yeah. It is scary natural power. And he has a nice timing on it as well. He knows how to deliver it, which makes him even more scary. The delay that he has on his punches. So you're just like, I blocked it. Just kidding. I'm knocked out. He's very, very good. Yeah, he is scary. I just think Adesanya is more adapted to mixed martial arts. Been doing it way longer. 24 fights compared to 7 fights in mixed martial arts. And, you know, his kickboxing record was the same. So let me see if I can remember. So Adesanya's kickboxing record, people think I've got it written on the inside of my eyelids. Adesanya's kickboxing record is 75 wins and 5 losses. And Alex Pereira's record is 33 wins and 7 losses. So Pereira's had exactly half the amount of fights that Adesanya had in kickboxing. And he probably had about half the amount of ring time in that half of the fights that Izzy had as well, because Izzy's not a power puncher. Yeah. I think it's afforded him a lot of time to be really, really skilled and crafted. And I think Pereira's got much better at being a big knockout puncher. I just don't think he's got the same kind of level of finesse that Adesanya's got. And I think that finesse is exemplified in mixed martial arts when the range and space is bigger and when the gloves are smaller. Absolutely. Especially with the different angles that you have that Izzy's more adapted to. I am buzzing for this card. Yeah. It's going to be a good one. gonna be pretty.
So we're
sick.
both going Adesanya by decision, then, are we?
Yeah, Adesanya
Okay.
by decision.
Okay, wicked. Well, we've got 3 war rooms for this this card: the main, the co-main, the co-main. We have 2 episodes of the archive out breaking down Adesanya's first and second fight with Alex Pereira. So make sure you consume all of that during fight week. We're also going to do a live stream, but I'm doing airport runs and we've got training, so I'm not sure what day we're going to do it. We're going to figure that out, and we'll let you know on social media. A quick shout out to our sponsors, thanking them for supporting this podcast. Elion, go to elionparis.com and check out beautiful products like these, really good hand wraps, Muay Thai shorts, whatever you need. They've got all kinds of good stuff on there. They've also got this collaboration with Dragon Ball Z, which is 6 custom gloves. They're all very, very cool. I'm going to need the Goku ones myself to add to my collection. Yeah, really, really cool brand. Great people. Go and find something that you love on that website and give them a bit of support. And our other new sponsor, Established Titles. Let me put this up again.
Lord Hardy.
Lord Hardy. So Established Titles is a very cool project. And these guys have just started sponsoring the podcast. Get involved in this. They make great gifts for, birthdays, Father's Day, Christmas, whatever. So basically what you do is with your order, you'll buy a piece of land. With that piece of land, you get the right to be called a lord in Scotland. And with every order, they will plant a tree somewhere around the world with 1 tree planted or trees of the future, trees for the future. So go to establishedtitles.com/outlaw. And the first few hundred of you will be in the same little plot as us, which will be very cool. We've got a little community growing. Yes, and of course, supporting them helps support us, which we all are very much appreciative of. Like and subscribe. Thanks to Steve Smith as well for this custom, awesome piece of work. Like and subscribe. Enjoy the fights. Anything else, V?
I'm gonna get better picks in you.
We'll see. All right. Catch you next time.